I don't trade gold every week, but when she's acting right, I'm a trader. So yeah, that's what I would like to see on gold. What's that? Maybe a little 200 pips. Hey guys, this is our weekly market outlook where we use multiple time frames to identify opportunities and prepare for the week. Our goal overall is to empower entrepreneurs and professionals, whether you are working a career full-time or running a business full-time. Our goal is to empower you to make day trading a reliable income. All right. So if you're completely new or need a refresher when it comes to day trading currencies or indices, we've gone ahead and created a free mini course just for you. And you can go ahead and access it by clicking the link below in our description. All right. Other than that, if you're ready to get started, hit the subscribe button, leave us a like, and let's go ahead and dive in. Alright, cool. Let's go ahead and get into things. See what we got going on for this week. I bit my mouth in all the wrong places, so just know I'm not gonna be loud right now because it hurts to talk. But we will be going ahead and seeing what's going on with this week. As far as news goes, we know we just had NFP last week. So we got that out the way, saw some things go ahead and set up. Interesting, it's the first time this year I've seen CPI be on a Thursday. So we do actually have CPI this week, some high impact US dollar news. So we're going to see inflation rates come out, and we're predicted to have them pretty much stable around the same place that we've been at. A decrease of about 0.1% they predict, but nothing crazy. Other than that, it's a pretty calm week. Tomorrow's a CAD holiday. Tuesday, German CPI, so that's big for Euro. Energy outlook on Tuesday. Wednesday, no major dollar news except for oil. So yeah, Thursday is gonna be where we'll see a lot of the action go on. So let's see how the week starts off. Friday, we have British GDP coming out, as well as US dollar PPI. So yeah, and not as many crazy things going on this week, but almost like just enough, right? So let's go ahead and tap in with the charts. For me, first thing I went ahead and did was, given we are well into the third quarter, about a month now, 2 months left in this third quarter. August just started, and then we have September before fourth quarter comes up, and just went ahead and looking at the commitment of traders, which kind of gives us an idea of where big money is placing their bets, right? Placing their orders. And I've explained this before, but with that being said, the green line is our large speculators. So that's private traders that got a lot of money. And the red line is the commercial banks, right? So central banks. When I had here, I don't know what happened to my line, but typically whenever the number, give me 1 second, let me add to this. What I'll do is I'll zero out this line. And so as you can see, typically the central banks are complete opposite of the large speculators at all times. And over the past few months or so, I mean, really more than a few months, even if we go out to the annual, go back even a couple years. Let's go back last 5 years. All right. So since about 2021, back in August 2021, we've seen central banks have the majority of their, what do I want to call it? They have been net short over the past 2 years or so. That's what it means whenever they're below this black line that I put here. I'll make it black. Whenever they're below the zero level, it means that they're net short, and private traders have been net long, right, on price going bullish. So what we're noticing is over the past few months, the commercial banks have becoming more and more net long on their positions. We're getting closer to this line, closer than we've been since 2021. Now, again, y'all know I've been bullish dollar king, and I think it's interesting because a lot of people, and the dollar is losing a lot of reputability. So there are, of course, more and more people looking to short the dollar, or unsure about what the dollar is gonna have going on. I just saw a report about how the credit rating for the United States dollar, how the credit rating for the United States dollar, we just went down. So like if you went from a 700 credit score to a 600 credit score, personally, like our I think they call it FISC. I'm gonna have to look more into it. U.S. credit. All right, let me look into. All right, bet I found it. So it's Fitch. All right, Fitch, the U.S. credit rating. Our long-term credit rating has been downgraded from an AAA status to an AA plus, which is like going down from like a 750 to a 700 maybe, right, or a 680, right? It's not horrible, but it says something, right? The credibility of the U.S. dollar internationally is being downgraded by essentially the credit reporters of the world. All right. So with that being said, the reason I bring that up is because there's a lot of uncertainty surrounding the dollar when it comes to investors, international investors, and people who are even aware of this stuff on a higher awareness level. So a lot of negativity, as you can see, just looking at this, looking at our last, since November last year, dollar's clearly been bearish, extremely bearish. We've lower lows, lower highs, lower low, low, lower high, lower low. All right. So we are seeing it look super bearish. That's the whole point. And so at the end of the day, I'm not looking to just catch the entire reversal here, but it does seem to be a shift in interest of the central banks, and that's what we're seeing on here. So it's like, why would the commercial banks, right, why would they be getting into net buy positions? Because that's what this is showing, right? Slowly but surely, their positions, that's what this red line here is, their positions are getting more and more out of net shorts and into net longs, right? As private speculators, especially, people, again, investors, international investors, traders, private equity funds, they're getting more and more net short. And so what do we know about this? Smart money wise, right? The central banks are the ones who govern and move the markets. And if they are getting into more and more net buying positions, more than they have over the past 3 years, right? At the same time that we're seeing all of this going on with, China, the BRICS nations, U.S. credit rating. We see everything going on in the United States in general, right? There's just a lot of negativity around the dollar itself, and so it's very interesting to me, and that makes me pay more attention to us continuing to be long, right? And so we've only been bullish here for the last month, since about July 14th, we've been bullish. And we've come into a key area, very interesting key area. We've come back up into the premium of the last 2 months, last 60 days or so. We've come back up into a premium. We saw us short off from there. So I'm going to be paying attention to this. I'm going to be paying attention this week to how it is that we want to deliver away from this equilibrium, or do we want to consolidate coming into this equilibrium? Now, again, we have CPI on Thursday, so I definitely expect some volatility going into Thursday's price action, but that's kind of my higher time frame perspective and analysis on a macro level, right? Without just looking at the charts. It's a lot of different reasons as to why it looks as though we may be seeing more bullishness introduced into the dollar, because on a macro standpoint, especially seeing on a monthly, we just seen a sweep on that sell side liquidity we've been looking at for a while now. All right. Now, Last week we predicted dollar would go bullish, and dollar was bullish last week. It wasn't like massively, but we did see them go ahead and trade up into that mitigation level that we identified from last week, and then we saw them go ahead and see a little bit of push back down bearish. So I'm kind of paying attention to where is it that we could trade to. Where is it that we could trade to maybe get some liquidity to take us bullish? All right, that's kind of my anticipations. I'm still bullish on dollar, right? Even though everybody hates me for that, I'm still bullish on dollar, and I still see these highs as being an interesting level of buy side liquidity for me. So yeah, now as I drop down into the 4 hour, just like as I identified last week, I feel like we saw some strong displacement away from this consolidation down here, which gave me the idea that we're going to want to deliver up to this buy side liquidity on a higher time frame. That's July's highs right there, and we still haven't delivered to it. So I'm still thinking that is our terminus for this bullish move. If we are going to turn around, then I would want to see it be from up in this level here. NFP gave us a strong displacement lower, and if you watch the recap from, or the prep going into NFP, this was exactly what I talked about seeing happen, because we had saw them start to give us a bit of bearishness here on the 1 hour time frame going into Friday's price action, right? So here was that consolidation here. We saw them trade underneath. From there, it was kind of like a no-brainer that they go ahead and trade back up into that and then sell off. So that's what we saw happen for NFP, which could have really put us in position for us to come into these discount key levels, these areas where buyers would be interested in coming in, so we can go ahead and continue making that up move toward the daily buy side liquidity. So I'm going to be looking for that to start the week off. I'm just kind of taking a note of the closest levels of liquidity we have here. So what I notice as I'm on this 1 hour time frame, I'm on the 4 hour, my bad. But either way, going down to the 1 hour, what I noticed last Monday was here. We got the lower last week right here, so we got some sell side to pay attention to down here. So those are last week's lows. I'm gonna type that in. And of course, as normal, I'll do a going into Tuesday's price action. Tomorrow after we see what Monday offers, I'll be able to have a little bit more specific of what I'm anticipating to look for as far as entries. But right now, I'm just giving you guys the key levels that kind of will give me a better understanding of what it is that we want to do. And if Monday starts off, even Monday or Tuesday, given we have CPI on Thursday, if Monday or even Tuesday starts off and we see them dive into levels like this ahead of CPI, that would be almost a dead giveaway for me. So if we haven't reached the levels like this Monday, what's good, Makai? So what I'm anticipating would be if we make a dive for this sell side liquidity down here going into Monday, Tuesday, and that's something to even look for, right? Would be for them to continue off targeting these lows here from this sell off that we saw on NFP. And again, once we reach that, I ideally want to see this be a liquidity sweep. If I see strength going through that sell side liquidity, then I may have to do a little bit of take a re-look at how I'm viewing this. But at this moment, it's kind of giving more so liquidity sweep. So that's what we're paying attention to on dollar. And then of course, seeing them sweep that liquidity there. And that's also the lows of this month so far. Let me see, where's the open of this month? This month's open. We're actually at the monthly open right now. super interesting when you see stuff like that. So yeah, we're actually at the monthly open right now. They just traded down below that. Yeah, we'll see how they respond at these two levels right here, because right now they're at the monthly open. But if they continue bearish from here through Monday, then I'm gonna be paying attention to there. So yeah, that's what they got my attention with right now on dollar. All right. Now I'm going to go over to, let's do euro. Yeah, euro. Goodness gracious. Beautiful buy off of buy up on euro on Friday after that NFP release. They traded down below the sell side from this low of the week before last. So the prior week, so not last week's low, but the week before last week. They traded below there, and we saw them consolidate ahead of NFP. They gave the expansion higher, came back down to the order block, and you see just nastiness. They traded up into that thing and went crazy. So for me, that's what I'm gonna be paying attention to. Of course, same idea with euro is that I think that we potentially could be looking at seeing a higher time frame reversal starting to show its head. I'm not going to try to predict the mess out of it, but you can see we came up into this volume imbalance right here where we have this lack of price action at all. Oh, nope. This lack of price action between, except for these wicks. That's very much an imbalance. They traded up into that thing, and then we saw strong sell-offs from that level. So they're kind of showing their hand a bit. So I want to see what continued selling off we can see from there. Now, with that being said, again, I was identifying down below these lows from the week prior, and then this fair value gap here. Right, got that FEG. Boom. All right, and they traded beautifully into that thing, and then went ahead and gave us bullishness from that level. So now that we've seen that, looking at the premium over these looking at the last 60 days or so, similarly, from July, June, May. So we got May here. I'm gonna go from up here down to here. All right. And we've just traded back up and, literally dipped down into the discount here of the last 60 days, came into that fair value gap, and then we saw massive bullishness. So where am I paying attention to for them to potentially reverse or for them to target? Well, we saw them come up above this buy side liquidity here. So, well, we actually haven't came above it. We came above the candle bodies, which is sometimes enough. But if dollar is going to sell off a bit more, then of course I'm going to be paying attention to this fair value gap up here. All right, seeing what type of price action we get coming into that level. So targeting that, but yeah, last week I still wanted to see them come back up into here, but we'll see again, right? We'll see how the week starts, see if they are going to come all the way up into this. Like I said, we do have German CPI on Tuesday, so maybe, but for right now, the level I'm gonna pay attention to is gonna be this fair value gap right here. Yeah, that's what we're gonna pay attention to. And I believe this was all of last week's price action right here. got my eyes right there. So wouldn't be surprised to see some more bullishness on euro up into that level. That's another like what, 60 pips. So let's see if we get them to push up in there. And then, like I said, going into Tuesday morning, after New York session tomorrow and everything closes out, I'll hop back. I'll do another prep. Looking forward to how we respond coming into this level. Yeah, because as of right now, that level has my attention. But even getting up to that level, you can see that we do have all this nice fair value gap that they left from this bullishness on NFP. So even if we were gonna look for a potential bullish opportunity, it would be to take me up back into this fair value gap, and I would just be paying attention to this right here. Right? That's more of really a liquidity void than anything else. Just straight bullishness inside that price action. So yeah, I would want to see them trade back into this, and if we gonna have an opportunity to get some bullishness, continue with the bullishness, then I would want it from here. That's where I would want it. I think it's even a optimal trade entry too. From right there, yeah, nice 62. They done broke these highs coming out of this this consolidation. So they came down into the higher time frame fair value gap right here. Wait, why is this BSL level here? It's kind of throwing me off. Right, but yeah, they came into this higher time frame fair value gap here, because that's what this is. All right, so came down into this higher time frame fair value gap in discount, consolidated, nice consolidation. All right, and then we saw them give massive expansion out, but they never traded back into that. So like on a higher time frame, you can kind of view this as a block of orders, right? It's be our order block. And so I would want to see them trade back to that and then expand to the liquidity, which is up here. That's what I'm targeting. So yeah, that's Euro USD. Let's save that. For the journal. All right. So that's Euro. I like the positioning they're giving on that. We'll take a look at baby gold today real quick. Matter of fact, before I take a look at gold, take a look at the bonds market one time. Because we would be expecting bonds to do the opposite of dollar, right? And bonds is looking very bearish. They're looking super bearish right now. They are looking super, super bearish. But they did just come into a nice volume imbalance over here from November in the discount side of things. We want to, if they're going to like really continue selling off, we want to see them really blow past that joint. That's really what we would want to see, for them to blow past that and continue to make their way down to the sell side liquidity here. So that's what I'm gonna have my eyes on between today and tomorrow, is DXY trading down below that low that I pointed out, and seeing the bonds give a reaction that they want to continue bearishness, because as of right now they are in a discount, they are giving a little bit of pullback, but you know, into where would be my question. And we have last week's price action here. They came up, traded off, came into this fair value gap, respected the 50% of it, and then sold off. And then as of right now, here's where my eye kind of goes to on bonds market. It's kind of what my eyes are paying attention to. Got equal highs here. They could get stopped up right here though. They could, but I'm going to see if maybe they even come a bit higher than that. So I'm gonna put my eye here, and I'm gonna put my eye right here. And again, I don't trade bonds, but I use it as kind of a confirmation. If bonds market comes into these levels and shows an unwillingness to trade higher, then that's giving me a sign that the dollar is potentially actually going to do the opposite, which would mean that it would trade lower and give a unwillingness to trade lower, which means DXY higher, which means Euro USD sells, make some money on Euro USD this week. You feel me? And I think that's all. We would touch on GU as well, because we also went over GU before NFP. See all of these cats chilling at equilibrium right now. Right. GU also traded up into weekly buy side and sold off, showing a willingness to trade lower. It's giving potential break of structure vibes, especially if I go down to this 4 hour, right? Clearly you see we bullish, higher highs, higher lows, higher high, higher low, highest high. And then we started seeing a break of structures lower, right? Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, down into discount. And then they're giving a little bit of aggression to the upside. So similar as what I was pointing out with Euro USD, where could they potentially be wanting to come up to? Saw them respect that order block. Boom, broke out, hit the order block, traded away. Really wouldn't want to see them come back up into that if we are going to be heading, down toward the lows down here, as we talked about last week. So if we are going to see some bullishness, then I will look for the ride up to this fair value gap. But again, with everything else, taking the ride up there with an anticipation that could be where we want to see sells off from, back to the low side. And similar volume, not volume balance, liquidity void here as on Euro USD that I would want to see them trade away from if we're going to do something like that. All right, so we might get some nice setups for these key levels going into Tuesday. After Monday's price action, we might see some good setups for those. But we're at an equilibrium level, so I wouldn't be surprised to see them kind of mess around a bit. We already had this accumulation here. We had to give the strong move away from that. So yeah, if we're gonna see just a slight bit of bearishness on the dollar, or even continued bearishness on the dollar, then I'm gonna be paying attention to us coming back into this level and then seeing buy opportunities from there. But again, my terminus, like my exit, would be here. This is where I would be looking to see them deliver to, which is also nicely above these highs from that last week of July right here, where we even broke structure to sell off with in the beginning. Right? Yeah. Take this one as well. So I got GU and EU on my radar again this week. Now also take a look at you, Goldilocks. Gold is an interesting girl right now. We've been seeing her give some breakdowns to the sell side, and she's more in discount than any other asset that goes counter to the dollar. Let's look at last month's price action. Yeah, we're even already in the discount of last month. And the discounts of June. So I could expect some bullishness on on gold, I'm sorry. To the 1 hour. Similar volume imbalance here. What's that from Friday's price action? So yeah, I am expecting bullishness on dollar, but maybe not yet. Like I said, hopefully we see them make a run on this sell side. But even so, I mean, there's opportunities from where we're at, or even from this volume imbalance, liquidity void. Sorry guys, right, from this liquidity void here left on NFP. So yeah, maybe first paying attention to how we get away from there, and then targeting these levels down here, because it could be slow, right? We don't have to come down here on Monday or Tuesday and then make a trade away. So for right now, I'm gonna pay attention to DXY making its ways down here. Whatever trade opportunities I could take on that, then I'm gonna go ahead and do, which is what I pointed out on Euro USD, GBP USD, and what I'm pointing out on gold. But once we come into these levels, that's when I'm gonna be paying attention for more upside on DXY. So going back to gold, based on that, this is where I say we saw them give this consolidation, swept the low side, we broke out to the upside. So now, paying attention to these levels here, right? And I annotate that because that's the last up candle here before we came down and did this nonsense on Friday, right? So paying attention to them drop into that and then make runs on last week's highs here. Yeah, make a run on last week's highs with that. So yeah, see if gold can get back up into this 1954, 1960 level. And then again, I do want to see bearishness overall, but for right now, that's what I'll be paying attention to. That's really clean, I'm not gonna lie to you. So I might trade me some gold this week. Told y'all I don't trade gold every week, but when she's acting right, I'm a trader. So yeah, that's what I would like to see on gold. What's that? Maybe a little 200 pips from down here to up here. Yeah, that's a lot of action that could go down in between that. But then again, once we trade back up into that level, maybe even if they trade a bit higher than that, then I'll be paying attention to potentially seeing them continue down lower. But I won't be trading that. I'm just gonna focus on seeing if we can get an early continuation on this bullishness on gold. So yeah, that's all I got for this week. And I'll go ahead and hop back on tomorrow or drop a recording for tomorrow once I see Monday's price action for what I'm going to want to execute on, and whether I'm going to trade London session on Tuesday or if I'm going to just wait for New York session on Tuesday.
No mistake, Maverick here at 2 a.m. in the morning in the do-rag to make sure that these videos are perfect for you. All right, if you made it to the end of this video, clearly you've gotten some value, so leave us a comment, like the video, and subscribe. We really appreciate if you share the mission, because our goal is to empower entrepreneurs and professionals, whether they're working a career full-time or running a business full-time, to make a reliable income through day trading currencies and indices. Okay, we have a weekly market outlook that releases on this channel. We do it live in our community, so feel free to join our free community so you can get access to stuff like this live. Okay, other than that, we have videos coming out on this channel to go ahead and educate. We have a free mini course in the description that you can get access to right now, and plenty of other value on the way. So you guys have a great one, and see you on the next video here on the Traders Guild.